Strong winds and rain has caused damage to DFW citizens again. We will take you to the hardest hit areas.
8 years later, and this local event is still making an impact. The Denton Community Market returns.
And find out how your furry friend can see you knock it out of the park.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Maddie Sleeth.
And I'm Quinn Arrington. First, it was rain and hail the size of softballs. Then last night it was high winds at nearly tornado-like strength.
That's right, Quinn. And while parts of Denton County suffered high wind damage, the real trouble was in other areas of the Metroplex.
ntTV's Blake Holland is live in Rockwall tonight, where the houses were destroyed and cleanup is underway. Blake?
Hey, Maddie and Quinn, we are here in Rockwall this afternoon, where, as you can see behind me, homes had their roofs ripped off last night, some of the homes without siding this afternoon. And today, National Weather Service surveyors were out here saying that all of this wasn't caused by a tornado, but instead it was straight line winds. Interesting thing about this, guys, is that although there are several homes right here in a road that were severely damaged in last night's storm, if you look at the other homes around in the neighborhood, they did suffer some minor damage, but nothing like these homes having the roofs and the siding ripped off of them. Now, thankfully, no weather like this in North Texas right now or expected in the next 48 hours continue. We do have some more chances for severe weather, potentially like what happened here in Rockwall last night, coming up this weekend. We'll talk about that coming up in your full forecast. Quinn and Maddie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Blake. We'll check back in with you a little later in the newscast. Well, besides damage, thousands of houses were left without power last night, Maddie.
That's right. Quinn, and Isaiah Robles is here now to give us an update with that situation. Isaiah?
Thanks, Isaiah. Due to the power outage caused by the storm last night, many schools were closed today, as you said, in North Texas. However, some stayed open despite having no electricity. The hundreds of students between 3rd and 8th grade were most affected by this because today was the day scheduled for STAR tests. For the schools that stayed open, these students had to take the important test with only natural light and some having little sleep, while the schools that were closed, their test was postponed to a later date.
And around 2:30 this morning, a UPS 18-wheeler hauling a double trailer rolled onto its side in the southbound lanes on I-35E near Lilly and Miller Parkway. Officials say that it was most likely caused by the high winds. The roadway was closed for several hours as hazmat crews cleaned up diesel fuel off the roadway. The highway was finally reopened at about 6 o'clock this morning. And the storm also affected students here at UNT. West Hall took most of the damage, losing 30 square feet of roof and insulation. Flooding was also caused by the storm and left as much as 2 inches of water in some rooms. That, as well as the roof damage, has displaced students from 4 rooms in that dormitory. Those students have been doubling up in other rooms until repairs are done. That's expected to take about 7 to 10 days.
And this is the second round of storms to leave serious damage in our area this week. Sunday night, Denton was the center of the severe weather. Hail fell across the county, in some places reaching the size of softballs. It did real damage to homes, skylights, and of course, cars parked outdoors. These pictures show just some of the damage. This car belongs to one UNT student, and he was one of hundreds of people affected by the bad weather. Insurance companies are working with their clients. State Farm has set up 4 service areas in Denton County. If you have damage, call your agent to make an appointment for your assessment. Coming up, a turn of events in the Baylor investigation. We have the latest on the lawsuits.
And the U.S.-Mexican border wall construction bidding deadline has been pushed back. Stay tuned.
Baylor University is pushing back against a former student's lawsuit alleging that she was raped by 2 football players. ntTV's Drake Lawson reports. Meanwhile, the Texas Rangers have opened a preliminary investigation into how Baylor handled the sexual assault cases.
The federal government has extended its deadline for companies to bid on contracts for President Trump's proposed border wall. The extension is to allow companies to consider answers from the Customs and Border Protection Agency to questions they've previously submitted. The agency said the wall would be 30 feet high and look nice from the north side. And if you are not a fan of those red light cameras in a number of North Texas cities, you may be in luck. The Texas Senate has approved a bill to ban red light cameras throughout the state. This is the 3rd time in recent years they've passed a bill like this, but it's failed each time in the House. Supporters of red light cameras say they help with accident rates, while opponents suggest they are a violation of privacy.
Well, Maddie, it's typical Texas weather to have tornadoes the night before and then have 75-degree weather the next day, isn't it?
Yeah, I could not agree with you more, Quinn. Well, Blake Holland is here with a look at the rest of this week's weather. Blake?
Hey, Quinn and Maddie, back here live this evening in Rockwall. We've moved over just a little bit so you can get a better view of one of the homes that was destroyed in last night's thunderstorm. Unfortunately, this is damage we will probably see again this severe weather season here in North Texas. The good news is, looks like we're going to have a little bit of a break over the next few days as we look at your 7-day forecast into the next few days in the near future here. But of course, the folks here in Rockwall definitely thankful for that as they continue to sift through the damage from last night's storm and try and put their lives back together. Guys, back to you.
All right, Blake, thanks. Maddie, I feel like I should take advantage of that nice weather Friday before the storms roll through this weekend.
I think you should. And Mariah Martinez is here with another episode of Didn't You Know? And she might have something you might like. Mariah? Thanks, Mariah. Coming up, students are making a green effort with energy.
And cooking with the best. Top Chef is coming to town for a mean green cooking lesson. Stay with us.
The hospitality management students here at UNT are getting a treat too sweet to resist. The executive chef of Gaylord Texan's Old Hickory Steakhouse is coming to share his expertise with students who will prepare dishes under his guidance. This event is to help teach menu planning, service techniques, and food production. The event takes place April 4th in the Gateway Center.
On the University of North Texas, we mean green. That's why the university recently purchased 107 megawatts of renewable energy that will power the university for the next year and potentially years to come. Before we go to sports, let's check back in with Blake Holland, who's live in Rockwall with more on the local damage. Hi, Blake.
Hey, Quinn, here in Rockwall tonight, emergency crews continue to remain on the scene as folks continue to look at the damage that was left in their homes. This is just some of the debris that we've been finding all around this area. This is just a brick from the home that is behind us. This is scattered all across the ground here. And as you can see inside the home, these folks here in Rockwall tonight just completely shaken up by the storm that moved through. They were, most of them, asleep, and then as you can see, all of this came through. Some of their roofs ripped off the homes, others had the walls ripped off, and now you can see right inside what was once the privacy of their home. And now we do, as I mentioned, Rockwall Emergency Services and Rockwall Police along with the fire department does remain on scene. They've actually blocked off the roads leading to this neighborhood to prevent folks from coming by and looting and of course harassing people, for lack of a better word, during this really trying time. Now, we spoke with a gentleman earlier. He is actually the one who pulled one of the men from the rubble of this home last night. We were told that man was transported to a nearby hospital and he is now doing much better. He has no non-life-threatening injuries. Of course, it will take quite a bit of time to clean all of this up here in Rockwall, but most of them telling me this evening that they are just thankful they are alive. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Blake. Well, Quinn, lots of big things are happening in the sports world. Men's basketball got a new head coach. Softball's been doing pretty well lately.
Yeah, Maddie, that's right. But some potentially bad news for the Dallas Cowboys. Sports anchor Lorena Schumo joins us now with more on that and more. Hi, Lorena.
And while losing wasn't what he wanted, the Stars captain said playing against his brother was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, I imagine it was nice playing against your brother and your best friend, I presume.
Absolutely. And speaking of best friends, you and your man's best friend can now cheer on the Mean Green together. Dominic Walker has more. And that Bark in the Park game will take place on Sunday, April 9th at 1 o'clock here at home.
All right, you guys planning on taking your pets out there?
Not me, because I only have a cat and I don't think she's welcome.
I would agree. Maddie, what about you?
I've definitely got a dog that I think would definitely enjoy that.
All right.
Well, thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.